It's a really intriguing idea, isn't it? That humans, well, we seem inherently built for running. Our bodies are just incredibly optimized for it.
Mm,
Yet for so many of us today, actually going for a run feels like a monumental struggle.
it does, yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to the Runner's Paradox podcast. This series is really a companion to, you could say, an expansion of the groundbreaking book, The Runner's Paradox by Ying.
That's right.
It's a journey where we take the book's core insights and, well, bring them to life. We'll be looking at the latest research, hearing some compelling real-life stories, too.
And you can always find more information about the book itself and purchase the ebook over at therunnersparadox.com.
Definitely check that out.
So today we're kicking things off, really embarking on our first proper exploration. We're diving into chapter 1 of The Runner's Paradox.
Yeah, the foundation.
Exactly. This chapter delves into humanity's, well, profound connection, almost primal, you could say, to long-distance running.
It's a connection that feels incredibly natural when you think about it evolutionarily, but also, surprisingly, something we often need to consciously relearn in our modern lives.
That's the paradox right there.
Absolutely. And what's so compelling, I think, is understanding how our ancestral past really does profoundly influence our present running experience. You know, how we feel when we run today.
hmm
We'll unpack how our bodies evolved for this incredible endurance, how modern life kind of throws a wrench in the works sometimes, and also touch on the profound mental benefits running still offers.
This first chapter really sets the stage beautifully for everything else that follows in the runner's paradox. We'll uncover just how deep that evolutionary link goes.
Drawing from the book's ideas and, like you said, the latest science.
Exactly. Both the foundational concepts and the most current findings.
Okay, so let's really get into it. The runner's paradox kicks off with this fundamental idea. Our bodies are just incredibly optimized for running, almost as the phrase goes, like we were literally born to run.
It's a powerful concept.
It really is, especially when you consider how many people feel, well, intimidated by just the thought of a long run.
It truly is remarkable. Humans possess this unique suite of evolutionary traits that make us exceptional endurance runners, like take our superior heat dissipation. That's a massive advantage.
How so?
Well, we have an incredibly high density of sweat glands all over our bodies. It provides what you could honestly describe as a marathon-level thermoregulation system.
Ah, okay, so we can cool ourselves down way better than other animals.
Precisely. It allows us to keep cool and maintain sustained effort for far longer, especially compared to most other species.
That's a literal game changer if you're thinking about, the ancient world maybe chasing something down under a hot sun.
Absolutely. And beyond our amazing ability to regulate temperature, there's our exceptional aerobic capacity. That allows for incredibly efficient oxygen use over really extended periods.
Right.
And then there's the remarkable tendon elasticity, especially on our Achilles tendon.
Yeah, I've heard about that. It's not just strong, it's springy.
Exactly. It acts like a powerful spring-like energy-saving mechanism. It recoils and releases energy with each stride,
Wow.
which significantly reduces the metabolic cost of running. It makes us incredibly efficient over long distances. And, recent research, like a 2024 study out of Cambridge, even identified unique heat-adaptive gene clusters in Homo sapiens.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and these were notably absent in Neanderthals. It really underscores our distinct evolutionary path towards endurance.
So our bodies are literally designed for the long haul, built to just keep going.
That's the idea.
And this connects directly to that theory of persistence hunting, right? Which is highlighted in the runner's paradox. The idea that early humans would literally chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion.
This strategy is just fascinating, and its effectiveness is actually backed by some really solid research now. A 2025 study in Nature Human Behavior provides compelling evidence.
What did they find?
Researchers meticulously documented nearly 400 historical cases, actual cases of long-distance running being used for hunting across diverse cultures globally.
400. Wow.
Yeah, and what's maybe even more compelling is their computer modeling showed that in terms of energy cost, running could actually be more energy efficient than walking for pursuing prey, especially over longer distances.
More efficient than walking. How?
Well, think about it. Our superior heat dissipation meant human hunters could push prey to the point of overheating in hot conditions. That created a significant advantage. It aligns perfectly with the insights from the runner's paradox about our unique evolutionary heritage.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. If we're so perfectly optimized, built to outlast, why does running often feel so challenging today? or even lead to injuries for so many of us.
Hmm.
This is the core paradox that the book, The Runner's Paradox, really zeroes in on, isn't it? This modern disconnection from our natural running form.
This raises such a crucial point. Our modern lifestyles, which are largely sedentary for many people,
Desk jobs, cars.
exactly, they can inadvertently sort of deactivate these key endurance traits that were once absolutely essential for survival. It creates this significant mismatch.
Between our bodies and our lives.
All right, between our evolved physical capabilities and our everyday habits.
Oh.
It leads to a body that's built for running, but isn't regularly practicing it in the way it was perhaps designed to. We just don't move the same way.
But it's not just about the physical side, is it? The book also dives deep into the powerful mental health benefits,
Oh, absolutely.
framing running almost as a kind of primal reconnection,
Yeah.
something that helps counter the constant overstimulation and stress of modern urban life.
And what's particularly striking is how quickly even brief activity can make a profound difference for our mental state.
Really? Like how brief?
Well, for instance, 2024 research published in Nature Human Behavior showed that running just 10 minutes daily demonstrably improved mood in urban environments.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. It highlights this powerful concept of microdosing exercise,
Really?
small bits that have a cumulative positive effect. Running profoundly impacts mood and brain function.
How does it do that?
In large part, it's due to something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor,
Hmm?
or BDNF.
BDNF. Okay.
Yeah, it's a crucial protein. It supports the growth and survival of neurons, especially in the hippocampus.
Which is key for memory and learning, right?
Exactly. So running actually helps our brains grow new cells and improve their function. That sounds pretty incredible, almost like a natural brain booster.
It really is. And there's more. Research in GEM neurology in 2025 indicated that outdoor running leads to superior BDNF activation compared to running on a treadmill.
Ah, so being outside makes a difference.
It seems so. The environment itself might play a significant role. Human trials also clarify that even just 30 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise can temporarily increase BDNF levels in the bloodstream.
Suggesting a similar increase happens in the brain itself.
Precisely. And furthermore, regular endurance training modestly raises your baseline BDNF levels, promoting lasting neural benefits.
So short bursts help acutely, and regular running builds long-term brain health.
You got it. Acute aerobic sessions trigger these BDNF surges that support neuron formation and synaptic plasticity. That's how brain cells connect. It directly links running to improved mental states.
Okay.
We see its role in reducing stress. A small 2021 study in Scientific Reports concluded just 10 minutes of moderate intensity running can help regulate the brain's stress response.
Yeah, another 10-minute win.
Right. It also contributes significantly to mental resilience, better sleep quality, which was confirmed by 2023 research, and it cultivates the ability to practice mindfulness. All of this helps in managing conditions like anxiety and depression.
So when you run, you're not just moving your body. You're
Mhm.
actively rewiring your brain for better mental health.
That sums up perfectly. It sounds like running offers way more than just physical fitness. It almost has these philosophical dimensions, which the runner's paradox explores too. It suggests running is more than just putting one foot in front of the other.
It absolutely does. Philosophically, you can view running as a profound form of resistance to what some might call technological alienation.
What do you mean by that?
Well, in philosophical terms, think about Heidegger's concept of inframing. Modern technology can sometimes frame our world in a way that reduces everything to just a resource or a tool.
Okay.
Running, by engaging us directly with our natural environment,
Yeah.
the feeling of the ground, the air, the sensations in our own body, it pushes back against that.
So it reconnects us.
Yes, it brings us into the realm of embodiment philosophy. Long runs can lead to these profound flow states, maybe even a dissolution of self, where you just feel connected to everything.
I think many runners describe that feeling.
Exactly. It's about intensely feeling your body, your breath, the ground beneath you, really being present in a way modern life often prevents. It becomes this return to heightened environmental and body awareness, a deeply personal, mindful experience.
That made sense.
And in this context, even something like choosing a more minimalist running approach could symbolize a rejection of an overly consumerist fitness culture. It shifts the focus to what the body can do rather than what gear it supposedly needs.
That's a really interesting perspective.
And just to add another layer, speaking of holistic impact, there's emerging research suggesting running-induced shifts in our gut microbiome.
Our gut. How does that connect?
Well, these shifts seem to improve systemic inflammation markers throughout the body. It just illustrates yet another layer to running's profound influence on our entire system.
Wow. Okay, so bringing it back to the practical side a bit. While our bodies are primal, our running environment today often involves modern tools like specialized running shoes.
Mm.
How do these interact with our natural mechanics, especially given everything we've just discussed about our evolved biology?
Yeah, that's a really significant area and one that's constantly evolving. Running shoes have changed dramatically since the 1970s,
For sure.
and they're largely designed to help runners avoid injury in modern environments.
Hmm.
Because, let's face it, while our feet are evolutionarily unchanged, they're often far less prepared for the consistent, repetitive stresses of running on concrete and pavement all the time.
Right, which is what most of us run on.
Exactly. So this has, sort of by necessity, led to specific biomechanical trade-offs in shoe design.
Okay, so what are some of those key trade-offs that a runner should maybe be aware of as discussed in the book?
Well, cushioning is a prime example, right?
Hmm.
It's designed to absorb ground forces, potentially reduce injuries, but its effectiveness can vary quite a bit depending on your gait.
How you land.
Yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
might impact heel strikers differently than, say, forefoot strikers.
Yeah,
Then there's compressive stiffness.
the stiffness of the sole.
Right. A stiffer sole can shift the push-off point forward. This can increase strain on the Achilles tendon, using it more for propulsion, and potentially increasing speed.
Like those carbon fiber plates.
Precisely. But the flip side is this can also increase the metabolic cost, especially for slower runners. It might make running feel harder, essentially.
Okay, makes sense. And what about the heel-to-toe offset? That's a term you hear a lot. What does that actually mean?
Good question. A larger heel-to-toe offset, often just called HTO,
Mm.
basically means a thicker heel compared to the forefoot. This can reduce the initial loading rate, how quickly the force hits your foot and ankle, which sounds good. But it often results in a higher overall impact impulse across the whole stride.
Interesting trade-off.
It is. It also causes the foot to be in a more plantar flexed position, toes pointing slightly downwards. This can actually reduce the force generated by the ankle and might lead to longer stride lengths and altered interactions between your lower leg joints.
So there's a lot going on mechanically with different shoes.
There really is. And the key takeaway, which aligns perfectly with the message in the runner's paradox, isn't about saying one shoe type is definitively better or advocating for a specific feature.
It's more about understanding.
Exactly. It's about understanding how shoes and runners interact, helping you, the individual runner, select features that work for your comfort, potentially help with injury prevention, and ultimately understanding how we run with or without these modern tools.
This whole exploration into Chapter 1 has been truly eye-opening. It really brings us back to that core concept of the runner's paradox, this deep evolutionary connection we have to running. It's such a profound paradox because while we seem literally born to run, modern life really demands that we consciously relearn how to do it optimally.
Yeah, consciously reconnect.
Right. Not just for physical health, but for our mental well-being too, and for fostering that deeper connection to ourselves and maybe our environment.
And reflecting on all this, I think understanding our evolutionary roots provides such profound insights. It helps explain why running can feel inherently good for us,
Yeah.
and why addressing those modern disconnects, the sedentary lifestyle, the environmental changes, is so crucial for having a sustainable and ultimately satisfying running journey. As the book reveals, it's about so much more than just putting one foot in front of the other.
And as Ying shares so eloquently in The Runner's Paradox, and I'll quote here, at its heart, these varied chapters on running ask you not just to act, but to stop and think. Why did you get into running? What about this practice do you love? Do you truly feel like you've tapped into its innermost potential? If you haven't, then this book is for you. It will show you how to unlock the depths that running has to offer. In the process, you'll gain deeper knowledge of yourself, for running acts as a mirror to our innermost being.
That's a powerful quote. Really captures the essence.
It really does. Okay, now let's unpack this a bit further. We often get some deep, insightful questions around these topics. What stands out to you from our discussion today, perhaps thinking about some common questions?
Well, we've had some excellent questions come in that touch on these very themes. Let's tackle a few.
Great.
First, a really common one.
Yeah.
Can we actually mimic ancestral running today? Is that even possible?
Good question. Given concrete and modern life.
Right. And the answer is, well, yes, elements can be mimicked. Think about practices like varying your pace, maybe like interval pacing, or purposefully cultivating environmental attunement,
Yeah.
really trying to connect with nature when you run, even if it's just in a park,
Okay.
and maybe exploring movement patterns that encourage more natural foot mechanics.
Oh,
The key really is adapting ancestral principles to our modern contexts, not necessarily trying to perfectly recreate ancient running conditions in, our concrete jungles.
that makes perfect sense. Adapt, don't just copy blindly. Okay, another great question that often comes up. Why did ancestral humans seem to favor endurance over sprinting? Weren't sprinters important too?
That's a really insightful question. Endurance running effectively exploited unique human advantages that sprinting simply couldn't leverage in the same way.
Like the sweating we talked about.
Exactly. Our sweat glands, that remarkable tendon elasticity we discussed, and a predominance of slow-twitch muscle fibers, these are all ideal for sustained effort, not short bursts. And unlike sprinting, endurance running sustains that brain-derived neurotrophic factor production and allows for efficient fat metabolism over long periods. This combination enabled those hours-long persistence hunts.
Right, you couldn't sprint for hours.
No way. And a 2025 meta-analysis actually underscores how endurance taps into these conserved pathways for both brain and body resilience, demonstrating its long-term survival benefits. It was simply a more effective strategy overall for that kind of hunting.
Fascinating. So given that difference in strategy, how is long-distance running wired into our brains differently than sprinting? Are different parts firing?
They activate different neural circuits, yes.
Mhm.
Long-distance running engages circuits associated with patience, sustained focus, complex planning, and thermal regulation. All higher-level cognitive functions vital for a successful long persistence hunt. You have to manage yourself over time.
Right, it's strategic.
Exactly. Sprinting, on the other hand, typically spikes catecholamines, think adrenaline. These trigger acute fight-or-flight responses, designed for immediate short-term threats or bursts of power. They're very distinct neurological pathways. One for sustained strategy, the other for immediate reaction.
That distinction is really clear. Okay, so building on the brain connection,
Mhm.
does endurance running have unique effects on brain plasticity compared to other forms of exercise?
Yes, the evidence suggests it does. Steady-state aerobic running, that consistent rhythmic pace, seems particularly good at sustaining those brain factors, like BDNF, that foster hippocampal neurogenesis.
The growth of new brain cells we mentioned.
Right, and it significantly enhances cognitive flexibility, your ability to switch tasks or adapt your thinking. While other forms of exercise, like high-intensity interval training or HIIT, are definitely beneficial in many other ways, they don't typically provide these prolonged neuroplastic benefits in quite the same manner.
Yeah.
There seems to be something special about the sustained, rhythmic nature of endurance running for brain growth and adaptability.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift back to the philosophical side we touched on. Philosophically, is running a form of rebellion, or is it more of a return?
I think it's truly both. It can absolutely be seen as reclaiming a kind of autonomy from the often sedentary systems of modern life, a quiet rebellion perhaps against the desk-bound existence technology sometimes encourages.
Pushing back.
Yes, but at the same time, it's also a profound return, a return to our innate bodily knowing, a reconnection with our physical selves and our environment. It feels like a primal homecoming for many people, reestablishing that fundamental relationship with our bodies and the world around us.
Rebellion and return. I like that. Okay, final question. What's maybe the biggest misconception modern runners have about their practice today?
That's a great one. I think a common misconception, and one that the runner's paradox really helps to address, is the idea that more technology automatically equals better results.
Like fancier shoes or GPS watches?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That more advanced shoes or sophisticated gadgets will somehow guarantee better performance or prevent all injuries.
Yeah.
However, the evidence consistently suggests that proprioceptive training,
Which is?
focusing on your body awareness, your sense of position and movement, and encouraging natural movement patterns, that kind of training often outperforms just relying solely on technology. It's really about tuning into your own body first, listening to its signals, and learning to work with your natural mechanics, not just relying on external gear to fix everything.
Understanding yourself before optimizing the tech. Got it. Wow, what incredible insights we've managed to unpack just from this first part of our journey into the book.
It really sets a fascinating foundation.
It does. And as Ying shares in The Runner's Paradox, we still run for the runner's high. We still run to bond with our fellow beings. We still run to be one with the world around us. It is still essential for our holistic survival. This journey, as we said, has just begun. In our next exploration, we'll be diving into the second chapter of the runner's paradox, delving much deeper into the psychological and the motivational forces that truly drive us to lace up our shoes day after day.
Looking forward to that one.
Me too. If you've enjoyed this exploration today, please do subscribe to the Runner's Paradox podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And definitely visit therunnersparadox.com to learn more about Ying's fantastic book and grab your copy of the ebook. We truly appreciate you joining us on this journey.
And to all the runners out there listening, whether you're just finding your stride or you've been logging miles for years, may your runs feel good, may your spirit feel strong, and may your connection to the run, whatever that means for you, keep getting deeper. Thanks so much for listening.